Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at Chapter 5 of Effective Engineer, which is called Measure What You Want to Improve. The first section is called Use Metrics to Drive Progress. It explains the importance of measuring progress and performance in assessing effectiveness and prioritizing work. It argues that good metrics help focus on the right things, confirm that product changes achieve objectives, guard against future regressions, drive forward progress, and measure effectiveness over time. The text provides examples of how good metrics accomplish these goals. First, good metrics help identify whether a new feature or change in product actually improves user engagement or performance. Defining a metric associated with the goal and measuring the change's impact enables one to be consistently confident in answering such questions. Second, when visualized over time, good metrics help guard against future regressions. It becomes easier to identify the cause of a decline in a metric and determine a course of action to fix it. Third, good metrics can drive forward progress. The text cites an example from Box, a company that builds collaboration software for the enterprise market, where a dedicated performance team worked hard to reduce the latency of their main page. However, the other application teams added to those seconds right back when they launched new features, making the page no faster than before. Box introduced a technique called performance ratcheting to address this problem and apply downward pressure on performance metrics. Fourth, a good metric lets one measure effectiveness over time and compare the leverage of what they are doing against other activities they could be doing instead. A task that could improve metrics by more than 1% with a week's worth of effort would be higher leverage, and a task with lower estimated impact would be deprioritized. The section acknowledges that some quantifying goals with a metric is not always easy, and some goals may be hard to measure or take too much effort to quantify. However, it argues that given the benefits of good metrics, it is worth asking oneself whether there is a way to measure the progress of what you are doing and if a task that does not move a core metric is worth doing, or if there is a missing key metric somewhere. Finally, the text teases that the next section will explain how to pick good metrics. And you might be on the edge of your seat, but we're already here at the next section. So the next section is called Pick the Right Metric to Incentivize the Behavior You Want. The section discusses the importance of selecting the right metric to measure in order to achieve the desired outcomes. The choice of which metric to measure can have a significant impact on the behavior of the team and the type of work that is done. The text provides several examples of how tracking different metrics can affect team behavior, such as hours worked per week versus productivity per week, click-through rates versus long click-through rates, average response times versus 95th or 99th percentile response times, bugs fixed versus bugs outstanding, registered users versus weekly growth rate of registered users, and weekly active users versus weekly active rate by age of cohort. The text emphasizes that there can be more than one way to measure progress toward a goal, and that the magnitude of the goal for a metric also matters. It is important to choose the right metric to measure, as the wrong metric can lead to ineffective or even counterproductive efforts. The right metric functions as a North Star, aligning team efforts toward a common goal. In addition, the text highlights the importance of having a specific target for a metric, as this can help drive significant improvements that might not be possible with small incremental changes. The next section is called Instrument Everything to Understand What's Going On, which talks about the importance of measuring and monitoring software systems through the use of instrumentation and metrics. The author highlights the fact that while it is important to carefully choose core metrics to optimize, day-to-day operation requires less discrimination and more measurement. These two principles are complementary and not contradictory. The author uses the example of airline pilots who have sets of instruments to monitor and understand the state of their aircraft while flying to their destination. Similarly, in software development, monitoring and instrumenting systems can help identify problems and build more reliable services. The lack of visibility into software systems can lead to guessing and wasted effort in addressing non-problematic areas. The section provides examples of two cases where monitoring and instrumentation were critical. The first is the case of Twitter, where engineers were unable to identify problems with the network and system until they started monitoring and instrumenting. The second is the case of the United States' Affordable Care Act website, which faced technical issues that resulted in a failure of the launch. The site was plagued with technical issues, and only after a team of Silicon Valley veterans flew into Washington to help fix the site and add monitoring was it able to support over 83,000 simultaneous users. The author suggests that to effectively diagnose problems, it is critical to have metrics and monitoring systems in place. Without these metrics, efforts to address non-problematic areas may be wasted. The author provides an example of diagnosing login errors by measuring the time of the latest code deployment, network traffic of the authentication service, and maximum number of authentication attempts per account over various time windows. Similarly, the author suggests that to optimize overall sign-up rate or web application response time, it is necessary to measure supporting metrics systematically. The next section is called Internalize Useful Numbers and the Importance of Knowing Useful Numbers in order to optimize the performance of a system, specifically a MySQL database. Percona consultants can access a database's performance by auditing its configuration, hardware, architecture, and table design, and configure its performance with expected numbers. Useful numbers can be internalized through experience and provide a shortcut for knowing where to invest effort to maximize gains. The text also discusses a list of 13 numbers every engineer should know, which can help estimate the performance properties of a design without actually having to build it. The importance of useful numbers is highlighted in helping spot anomalies in data measurements and providing benefits of metrics at a much lower cost. The final section is called Be Skeptical About Data Integrity and emphasizes the importance of using data accurately and how it can be misused. It is essential to choose the right metric to get the correct results. However, using the wrong metric can lead to disastrous results. The author suggests that data abuse can be avoided by being skeptical of the data and verifying its accuracy through different means. Untrustworthy data can lead to wrong decisions and a waste of cognitive cycles. Engineers often underinvest in data integrity because metrics often get deprioritized due to tight deadlines. Data can be dropped and bugs can crop up in data processing, which can lead to inconsistencies. To ensure data integrity, the author suggests that you log data liberally. Build tools to iterate data accuracy sooner, write end-to-end integration tests, examine collected data sooner, and cross-validate data. With all that being said, the key takeaways for this chapter are to measure your progress, to carefully choose your top-level metrics, and to prioritize data integrity. So, that's all for this one. My name is Daniel, and I make programming-related videos, sometimes coding tutorials, and others more abstract, like book chapter summaries. I do it not only because I love teaching you, but I love learning for myself as well. So if you found this video and this series helpful or thought-provoking, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, and comment. I love hearing from you, and we'll see you all in the next one.